Why should you keep continuing to pay price increases without increased value, without increased product, without increased services? Why do luxury brands get a pass? Why don't you demand more from luxury brands? Is it like some kind of fear of losing status? Is this some kind of brand worship? Or is this just some kind of like social ritual that you have to do? It's no secret that luxury brands want to pull you in and get you to buy everything from the glitzy stores, their high-impact marketing using celebrities, even the scents they use when you walk past the store. Everything about it is so glamorous. And of course, with the appeal of social media, they have an even greater hold on the audience, making us feel like we want to be part of that brand. But this is often what happens if you're a new consumer to these luxury brands. You save up your money for months to go to the store one day, only to find that the thing is sold out. And it's been sold out for months. And there's a wait list of over 200 people. And then you're confused because, wait, everybody has this, why can't I get it? And then you want it even more. So there's a fancy name for this. It's actually called manufactured exclusivity. Now, it's not just luxury brands, because even brands like Nike and Supreme can play this game. They make an item so exclusive that as the consumer just want it even more and will do anything to get it. Sometimes it's just as simple as creating a queue outside of the door. And I have seen this phenomenon work with everything from Chanel to Hermes, to $20 matchas, to $7 cookies, even little cooler bags from Trader Joe's. So right now, the latest buzz is the Labubus from Pop Mart, and each store only gets a small allotted amount, which makes the internet go wild. So I'm going to use the example of a larger brand, Louis Vuitton. Nike, they send very limited quantities to their store, especially for limited drops. I've had complaints from customers, why can't you just make more? Now, here's the answer that people don't like to hear. Yes, they absolutely can make more product, but that would eliminate the exclusivity of getting your hands on the product. By keeping the demand high and the inventory low, they can simply keep their prices high, or better yet, raise the price. People will be willing to pay for that price increase so much as there is a demand. What happens is when you don't get your hands on the thing, you're going to wait for the next drop, because there's always a next drop, and then be better prepared for it. And then most likely won't stop until you get that product. It's the dopamine fix. And of course, because you already get that hit once, you're probably going to want it again. Now, with these luxury brands, this type of gatekeeping, it does make the consumer feel like they really have something to prove and want to be part of the club. And this type of gatekeeping actually works. So I didn't know this about Rolex, because no, I'm not rich enough to buy Rolex. But these stores exist merely as exhibits. It's very difficult to actually walk in and acquire a watch. So it's there to look at the watches and then get on the elusive list. Now, because of the scarcity, you will hear things like, this is the last piece on this side of the country. Because sometimes it's true and sometimes it's not. But sales associates have to use whatever they can use to make that sale, because the goals are pretty high. It's so hard to get, you're so lucky to have it, so many people want this, this just came in, it's the last one. If you don't buy it, someone else will. So we all live in this bubble of FOMO and wanting to fit in. The consequences is that these types of shopping behaviors are making people broke. So how is it making any sense that we look rich but feel broke and are broke? Some of you are all saying, look at me, I'm rich, I can afford it. I'm probably not talking to you, okay? This video is meant for those in the younger generation that are very influenced by social media, that they feel that acquiring things is a form of validation. I did that at one point in my life too, so I'm hoping you can learn from my mistakes. And there are some of you that are not in the younger generation that still make the same mistakes over and over. So it is time to wake up to the amount of debt we are putting ourselves in for social media validation, or the validation of Sally and Jack, who knows. So for me, I used to really aspire to luxury, and I knew it didn't really make sense, and it wasn't really me. So I am glad I snapped out of that luxury matrix, and what helped me to snap out of it was being on the manufacturing side and being on the retail selling side of luxury, which is actually why my channel exists, and I no longer have the desire to compete or impress strangers. And at one point, I thought I did. So it's really okay if you want to put your money. It's actually advised to put your money and priorities somewhere else. Now, one of my biggest reliefs lately is selling off a good amount of my luxury things that really were just sitting in my closet. Now, some of you have questioned, does she want us to buy or does she not want us to buy? Is she selling consignment? Okay, my answer for luxury goods always will be pre-loved and vintage pieces were just made better. And I don't mind pre-loved pieces. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. So out of these luxury brands like Hermes, Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Dior, and then some watch brands, I don't even know all of them, there are items that are considered absolute luxury, such as a special made-to-order tapestines made of crocodile leather. You can choose the color and everything like that and all the details, or the ever-elusive Hermes Birkin, still hand-sewn by specialty artisans, and you can even get it with diamonds encrusted. There are still watch brands that create the watches by hand, gear by gear, piece by piece, that can take up to 300 hours. These are the pieces that are what's called absolute luxury. And with every brand, there are those pieces that exist, the absolute luxury, and not everybody knows this as long as there is a logo. Luxury common items like t-shirts, belts, wallets, canvas bags, leather bags, shoes. They are somewhat mass-produced. Might not be a grand scale as something like a Nike sneaker, but they are still quite mass-produced as opposed to that specially made crocodile bag. And this is the uber wealthy society that wanted to express their wealth through their clothes. Now, this is what people don't know, is that most of these luxury brands were created as bespoke items. Like you could order a travel case from Louis Vuitton. That's what the company was made for. Christian Dior was a designer for high society dresses, and only the best of the best could commission Christian Dior to build her a dress that would represent her status and wealth in society. And as I understand, he even snubbed those clientele who he didn't seem worthy. But now we are finding bags like this that have been discovered to cost $57 to make and about $3,500 to buy. Does a Seiko watch still tell the same time that a Rolex does? I believe so. Does a Kate Spade, a very well-renowned bag but not as expensive as a Dior, does it still hold your stuff? I think so. Now, if you peruse the luxury catalog, they of course offer you some items that just seem ridiculous. Like this Dior ribbon clip. I mean, it looks like the same ribbon that is found on the Dior packaging. Some of you might argue that with me, but it's a ribbon on a clip. Hot glue gun, anyone? And then there's this Balenciaga bubble wrap dress. It's very unique. Pop, pop, pop. Now, as my channel grows and my audience grows, I've noticed that some of you think that I'm poo-pooing on your experience. And once you get over your feelings, you'll realize that what I'm saying is that the consumers really need to start demanding more from their brands and demanding more for your money. And I know that most of you do agree with this, and most of you have confided in the comments that you are turned off by luxury, as you should be. Because why should you keep continuing to pay price increases without increased value, without increased product, without increased services? In fact, the brands have done a really good job at just like barely hinting at price increases, which sends the market into a frenzy. I've got to buy it because if I wait, the price is just going to go up, and it's always been very effective. Now, relaunches of old items absolutely should have an upgrade from what it used to be, especially when the price increase is close to 200%. Exorbitant price increase should, at least in the very minimum, not just the price increases, the price of luxury goods at the very minimum should include a free hardware replacement, because there are lesser known companies that do so, such as Hammett LA. They offer hardware replacement for the life of their bags. Brands like Coach, I have heard, will repair your bag. But honestly, I don't know, truthfully, because I have my Coach bags that have lasted so much longer than the luxury bags that I hardly use. So I personally have never had to go repair any type of damage on a Coach bag, whereas with my luxury bags, I find things like wear on the corners that I'm constantly worrying about. But if you bring these to the luxury store, they are are literally going to say, too bad, so sad, normal wear and tear. I have also heard that I'm so immoral for putting down these brands. But what about these brands who just continually take your money without any guarantee of satisfaction for the product that you're paying so much money for? This causes a lot of stress if you are the sales associate on the sales floor. When someone brings in their bag and is like really crying about it because I just bought this and look, it's broken. You know what we were trained to do. It's normal wear and tear. But if you would like to pay this amount of money, we can service it for you. Even if we agreed with the customer, we had to follow the brand initiative. So somehow the sales associate becomes the enemy because we have to give you this blank stare and normal wear and tear for a bag that the brand produced. Furthermore, I saw a certain YouTube creator, she got the collection she wanted easily and then was criticized, saying she was bragging and rubbing it in other people's faces and how insensitive because they didn't get the bag. And you know, on the internet, you can't win. We can't please everyone. What is just really crazy is if the one is so pressed over defending a brand and defending a bag, what's the point?
There's people that are dying.
And people are waking up to this. Why should they spend so much time and effort and money to not be satisfied? So really, why on my channel should I candy coat any of it? It would essentially be lying. And this is just my advice, my opinion. I am not stopping anyone from going to the store or the website or buying anything that they love. What I would really love to see, there should be an advocacy, a movement, a coalition, a voice of reason for demanding more from the brands that you are loyal to. Think about it, you guys. It happens on every level. Target has a loyalty program, CVS, even Starbucks give you an incentive to keep coming back. A simple item from Target can experience a recall if people aren't happy. People demand a lot from consumer goods, but why do luxury brands get a pass? Why don't you demand more from luxury brands? Is it like some kind of fear of losing status? Is this some kind of brand worship? Or is this just some kind of like social ritual that you have to do? I don't understand. So why do luxury brands get a pass? And they are continually dismissed even when they've been exposed for exploiting their workers, even when they have been exposed for manipulating manufacturing tactics by creating part of the bag in somewhere such as Vietnam and then sending it to Spain for finishing and then saying it is made in Spain. Why do they continually get to increase the price of your products with, again, not any added services or value or product for that matter? And I think the consumer is wisening up to this, that luxury doesn't have to be expensive. It could be simple conveniences in your everyday life that contributes to you living better and not stressing over these things. So let me know in the comments what your luxury is. One more favor, guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a like, a thumbs up, and a subscribe. If you're still to this portion of the video, please click the link below to learn how you can further support my channel and be a part of the growth of Dial and Style. Thanks so much for joining. See you soon. Bye.